Sleepme just dropped this fully redesigned bed cooling system and put a $3,000 price tag on it. Here's the problem. The old one is still for sale. It's cheaper and it cools just as well. So what are you actually paying for here? And is it worth your hard-earned cash, or is it better off left in this review? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna find out. Hi, my name is Ethan and this is Sleepline. Today we're gonna be putting this product through its paces, showing you what the unboxing process looks like, and getting into the nitty-gritty across every single category that matters so that you can make an informed decision on if this thing is worth your hard-earned money or if you should just ignore it entirely. Anyway, let's dive in. Before we dive into the unboxing, we need to talk about what the Chilipad is. So the Chilipad is an active heating and cooling system for your bed. Water runs through a thin pad on top of your mattress, and a dock underneath heats it or cools it anywhere from 55 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not cooling gel that fades by 2 a.m. It's actively moving heat in or out all night long. It comes in single zone or dual zone, so you and your partner can run totally different temps on each side. The product we're looking at today is the 2.0. It's a full ground up redesign of the Dock Pro everybody's already reviewed, including us. So you get a new dock, new cover, new remote. It's not cheap either, around $1,600 for one side and up to $3 grand for the dual setup in a queen. So the real question is whether the redesign earns it. Well, to find that out, we're gonna have to open this thing up. So starting right here with box number one, I don't have my handy dandy knife to open today, but we do have a set of keys. The coolest decision you've made all year. Get a door hanger, so if you want to, take this to your hotel room, you can, that's nice. Chilipad by Sleepme, that's kind of cool. I think that's actually, yeah, that's actually written with a marker. That's really cool. I like that. Scan for setup video, other language information. This is a huge freaking card. I like that. I actually like that a lot, and I like how they give me the QR code right here to actually figure out what the heck is going on here. All right. It's got your cover. So we've got our cover, we've got our water hose. Ooh. Hydro layer. This was not a separate thing in the previous version, so we're gonna see how that works. The previous version gave us like one of these. Another hydro layer, another year supply of system cleaner. Oh boy. And another dock, 2 docks. Same process, just doing it twice. All right, time to dive in by consulting our giant card. You can watch a video on how to do this, or you can follow the instructions right here. You'll notice these are massive. I don't think you're gonna need reading glasses for these, which is kind of cool. And in my experience, these systems have actually been pretty dang easy to put together and build. If you're comfortable, or if you've ever had a Chilipad in the past, you can probably reference these instructions here. They do seem pretty clear to me so far. Or you can, of course, watch their video. But who likes watching videos? Looking at step 1. Before you begin, get ready. We love pets, but please keep them away. Got it. Strip your bed. Good thing we've already got our stripped bed. And set up your Chilipad cover. So the first thing we're gonna do is throw the cover on. So, not gonna lie, I just like black and blue. I think they're nice colors together. I like this touch here of the blue zipper. Doesn't mean anything at all for quality. No, absolutely not. It does not, but it is pretty nice. So this is their new cooling cover system. And I will say immediately, one thing I noticed versus the previous one, this feels much closer to a sheet. The previous version actually had a slight impact in comfort overall because you could feel the material. The material almost felt slightly like packing foam. And of course you were putting that under your sheets, but here it just feels like this is naturally your sheet. I would not sleep directly on top of this just for hygiene purposes, but you can remove this and it is machine washable, which is pretty dang cool. This is much closer to the Sleepme 3 that we reviewed in the past, except I would say that this is even a step up because of the way that this cooling system is set up. You're not gonna feel thin little tubes of water running underneath you everywhere, and that should be pretty nice. Of course, I'm just touching it right now. Let's get on the bed and see how it actually feels in comparison. All right, so the previous version, I liked how they gave us a top side. You can cool the bed from the top or bottom side. It doesn't actually really matter where you would like to. One thing I do want to note, this right here is what I wanted to talk about because now you can actually unzip this completely. This will come off and you can put this in the washer. That's pretty dang cool and really nice from a hygiene perspective, for sure. All right, I was actually hoping, and this is a suggestion for you, Sleepme, that this was reversible on either side, meaning it didn't matter if I put it forward or backward. the hose could be connected on either side. That's not how this works. There's still a top and a bottom, but I think it'd be really cool if in a future cover, you could engineer a way that it didn't matter how you put this on, just because that's one less annoying thing that some people might experience when they are. You guys got my point. Oh my gosh, this is nice. We'll see how it feels with water in it though, because that could totally change everything. So one thing that is nice is this does have anchor banding, which I don't remember if the previous version had it or not, but this will go right underneath. And then that way, this whole system, obviously, once I put it fully on, will stay on much better and won't shift around, which is an issue I've had with other bed cooling products. So it's nice to see that they have some serious anchorage on this thing. Okay, so overall, so far, this just feels like there's nothing on my bed, and that's not something I've been able to say about any sleep product so far. I've had the Sleeppod 3, I could feel that thing on my bed. I could feel the comfort impact that that thing had on my bed. We have the Chilipad 1.0, which used to be referred to as the Chilipad Dock Pro. You could definitely feel that there was something on your bed then. So far right now, I can't tell anything other than this is just a nice, cool to the touch cover or sheet. Now, that could totally change when we put water in it, but for right now, I'm already super impressed, and I haven't even put my pajamas on yet. What I wanted to show was these guys right here. These form an X, and they anchor the cover to your mattress in a really cool and slick way. This thing is not gonna go anywhere. All right, now that we've got the cover on, let's consult our instructions. So basically, it's time to unzip that cover. So this just zips right off like this. Boom, and we're in. One thing that's nice is we can fully zip this off, and this is the machine washable part right here. I'm not gonna fully remove it because sometimes it's a little annoying to put things back. Actually, I will. For you guys, we're gonna find out if this is easy, hard, because according to our giant instructions, the next thing we have to do is set the hydro layer on the bottom layer and secure all 4 S hooks. Okay, cool. So now we're on to our hydro layers. We've got 2 of them to install. Let's see how long this takes. By the way, so far, we've really only been doing this, even though we've been talking and stopping and explaining, we're only like 15, 20 minutes into this process. If you were already at home, this is like maybe 5 minutes of work to get it unboxed and put together. If you're talking and doing a review, expect 15 to 20 minutes, but you're probably just trying to sleep. So keep that in mind. These are our hydro layers here. This is different. In the previous generation, this entire thing was set up with the cover, so you couldn't remove it. It just kind of all was one piece. The lining, oh, and that might be why it felt so much more comfortable. Now that we're adding in this hydro layer, we're gonna see, oh, whoa, you didn't get to see this before. This is like seeing inside how it's done. Boom, interesting. All right, and it just unrolls like that. And then you got your little clippies. That probably goes to the top, this side up. Cool, thanks for telling me. We're gonna put both of them on. This could definitely change the comfort feel that I was just praising a whole few minutes ago. So we're gonna keep that in mind. Here, this is a fully tubeless design, which is pretty nice because it allows the water to flow one more freely, which should, in theory, allow you to sleep cooler. With the 8Sleep, you can feel a bunch of channels. I've since heard that they've gone to a tubeless design as well, but they haven't sent us a review unit to test, and tubeless designs are of different qualities and levels. This one here, it seems pretty dang thin. I kind of want to fill it with water before putting the cover on just to see what it all looks like. So we'll probably try that, and then you can actually see what the difference is and how big this layer actually gets to circulate water. Although I would guess not that much. With water circulating, you really don't need all that much. The whole purpose is to pull the heat away from you. A giant layer of water would feel more like a water bed and less like a cooling bed, I guess. Look how thin this is. This is ridiculously thin. One quick tip, when you're putting these on, put them onto the cover first and then the hydro layer. It will make this whole process a little bit easier for you. Otherwise, you're trying to stretch and pull when you could just already have that all happening from the secured position. It just will save you a little bit of time and frustration. Slide the water hose through the opening behind the chili tag and attach it to the hydro layer. All right, so we got 2 water hoses, 1 for each side. Pretty dang easy. I just unzip this guy. You get your water hose out. Chilipad, nice branding. Just Comes off. The hose has a nice insulated padded feel. Doesn't really matter all that much. One thing I do like is they have this connection here with this little clip, which activates this guy here. And that's actually really nice because it makes the clipping process super simple. I loved this on the previous version, still love it here. All right, so you're gonna take the hose. It's gonna run down and under this bed. So we're gonna take that here. Oh, going to the right spot. Okay, one thing that's nice, we're gonna run this hose up through here. Basically pop this right off, just pulls off. And then this clips on. Match up the QR code to QR code. Just clicks right on and boom. Do that for the other one. All right, same deal here. You just pop this guy off, boom, toss him, and then line them up. And easy as that. So they call this thing the hydro layer. It's a flat water membrane, meaning there's no tubes here. So there's really nothing pressing into your back, and it just feels like a normal padded topper. Or so they say. We'll find out later on. So this here is the big kahuna. This is the main thing that has changed from the previous generation. At least that's what their marketing says. I actually think a lot's changed here in the hydro layer, but this guy here is quieter and you get a physical remote, meaning this thing isn't just offline capable. You can just run this thing offline all the time, which is incredible given that most of the competitors out there want you to always be online. Chilipad is taking a different approach. Also, this thing comes with a 2-year warranty now versus the previous 1-year warranty. That's for the whole product, by the way, that you had before. So that's worth noting. It's also fully US made, which is pretty dang cool from a sourcing standpoint. We talked about that just a little bit earlier. I just want to highlight it again because I think that that will make a huge difference if there are ever any problems with the product. Anyway, let's get into it. Ooh, I like this. It's a darker color than the previous one, which is awesome. Remote. This is the big one. This is the thing whoa, interesting. What am I looking at? Okay, does this sit beside your bed? Your bed deserves its own thermostat. That's kind of cool. This is interesting. This is not what I expected. Ooh, I just did the most fun part. I don't even know if we got that on camera. This is gonna be super cool to take a look at and see though, because I'm guessing it just sits right beside your nightstand. All right, I like that. It's not what I thought. It's not what I thought, but I'm not super upset about it either. Let's take our dock out. That's pretty cool. This should be pretty dang simple. All we gotta do, plug this guy in and run him. Small screen, big chill. That's cool. So you just take this tube and then same deal here. This is just going to connect. You line up the 2 QR codes, connect it in. You'll notice we haven't put on the cover, mostly because I just wanted to show you guys what this looks like as it fills. At this point, you would have put your cover back on. It zips right on. It's pretty easy. I just think it's gonna be cool to see how it looks before. And then we can put it on after and talk about the comfort and everything like that. Connect water hose to hydro deck. Next step, add 1 pack of system cleaner to reservoir. So let's put this reservoir in, just like that. This is your cleaning solution, system cleaner. Let's add that into the reservoir. So this stuff here is important because it stops anything from growing inside, mold and bacteria and all that stuff. So these are actually pretty important because even though you're using distilled water, doesn't mean bacteria can't grow. They can't guarantee it's kept out. Nobody can. I'm just going to fill this. Drink. You can see that these channels here are now filled with water. Lid back on, topped off. Good. Oh yeah, let's hook this guy up. So super simple. You just take this guy here. I don't even think we need the power brick actually, because in our case, what we're gonna do is plug directly into this guy. There's a spot right on the back. Does it just automatically pair? Ooh, that's kind of cool. Oh yeah, that's cool. Let's turn it to low. You can see the channels here are filled versus if we come over here, empty channels, filled channels, empty channels, filled channels. So it's time to put our cover back on. Let's see how easy this thing is to put back on, because that was the question. So here's the answer. Some zippers suck. This zipper seems to be decent. I guess it'd be smarter first to toss this up and on here. Let's just do a quick preliminary test. How does this feel? You definitely feel the water channel still. It's not as noticeable, and there's not that uncomfy foam that takes away from the comfort layer. Like, they're there, but they're there in the most minimal way possible, and that's honestly a huge upgrade versus previous generations and competitors, because before what you would get was, hey, I'm either feeling this like line of coldness on my back, or I'm just feeling this uncomfy foam overall. And I think that in the previous generation, they had the foam, so that way you wouldn't feel the water channels as much, but maybe this is a different design because it does feel better overall. Granted, I'm still fully enclosed, not in pajamas. I still have to sleep with this thing, and we have to see how loud this is versus the previous generation. So there is that. The cover is pretty dang cool as well. I mean, the controller. I actually do like that, even though I was able to pop it off. It's on low. You connect the dock to your Wi-Fi. It's got your room temp, your humidity. You can turn that, brightness, factory reset, airplane mode. There's automations in here. Okay, so now that we've actually kind of gone over what the whole setup process looks like and what's different from the previous generations, the real question is, after sleeping on this for a night, is it any different than the old Chilipad Dock Pro? Is it better, and how does it compare to the biggest competitor on the market, which is 8Sleep? Well, I gotta say, I loved the Dock Pro. The main issue people had with that bed was the noise from the docking unit itself. For me, that's not a problem. I sleep with rain noises on, so I don't notice the hum of it. But even so, I did test this in comparison to the previous one, but even so, this is notably quieter than the previous Dock Pro. So if you don't sleep with any noises, that's a big win. But the biggest thing that changed for me is this cover here. The old Chilipad was very, very comfortable. The tubeless design I found to be way less intrusive than the 8Sleep Pod 3 that I had. Now, they did switch to a tubeless design as well, I believe. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't gotten a new 8Sleep unit to test out yet, so I don't know for sure. The tubeless design on the previous design of this unit was very, very comfortable, and it was a huge step up over the channels that you had in the 8Sleep and previous cooling products. This is a whole nother level though. That one was comfortable. That one was surprisingly comfortable. We said that in our review. We talked about how incredibly comfortable it was, mainly because the 8Sleep itself was not very comfortable. This is taking it to a whole nother level. The cover is cool to the touch. They have less foam, meaning you're getting more cooling power delivered directly to you. And that, for me, is one of the biggest changes that this has over the previous generation. But I also want to talk about the remote, because that's super cool. All you have to do is plug that thing into the wall, and it connects, and it works just like that. If that was a good snap, I don't know if you guys heard it, whatever. Point is, that thing's awesome. Yeah, I didn't like that the cover popped right off. I think that maybe they should figure out something about that, but I pulled it off because I didn't recognize it was a twisty, rolly type of thing. It's really cool, and personally, that's something that I prefer. Now, if you're looking at this, you're definitely looking at the 8Sleep as well, and we need to talk a little bit about that, because you're probably wondering, well, why would I choose this over the 8Sleep or the 8Sleep over this? And I've got some pretty definitive answers from my experience. One, this is faster cooling immediately. You go over to your nightstand, you turn the dial, it's cold. You can schedule automations for it, but it's not nearly as automated as the 8Sleep. The 8Sleep has the best automation, the best sleep data, the best tracking, hands down. This will do that. It's just not going to do it to the same level. But the caveat there is they don't charge a subscription for this. 8Sleep charges a $200 a year subscription just to get into their automated sleep tracking system that will automatically adjust the bed based on your needs. It's very cool. Based on what stage of sleep you're in, that thing will adjust. You don't really have that kind of granularity or that kind of automation in this thing. But the truth of the matter is, as cool as that sounds and as cool as it is, if your bed is cooling you down already at a pretty good level, you're not really gonna need all of that automation dialed right in. The other big thing that I love about this now is something that 8Sleep has already been doing, which is waking you up by warming the thing up. Now, 8Sleep does have some vibration in there, which definitely helps and is a super nice way to wake up in the morning, actually. I will say that they've got them beat there. The main thing that does it is warming the bed up, and you can do that now with this. The last big thing that separates them is this doesn't need to be online. I don't actually think you ever need to put this thing online. Yeah, you can get your updates. Yeah, you can tie it into the app. I didn't connect this thing at all yet, and it just works. So if you're looking for a solution that doesn't rely on Wi-Fi or constant connectivity, which with the 8 Sleep, that can be really annoying because when the internet goes down, that thing goes down. They do have an offline mode now. It's still clunky. It's not great. And in my opinion, this is the most comfortable cooling solution that I found in a bed. I loved the Dock Pro. There's no surprises there. I love this thing even more, but there are some concerns. So users have reported that after about 2-ish years, leaks do happen. Now, that's not happening in every single one, but it's enough that people have complained about it. But I've seen it crop up online enough to know that it's not incredibly uncommon either. The nice thing is, with this bed, you are getting a 2-year warranty versus a 1-year warranty that you got in the previous versions. And on top of that, all the parts, again, are made in the US, which is really nice. When you need a new part for this thing, you can just get it really, really fast. All in all, this, in my opinion, is hands down the best, most value-oriented water cooling system out on the market right now. If you're somebody who sleeps hot or if you sleep cold, this is hands down our #1 recommendation out on the market right now. Quiet, the cooling is direct, there's no subscription required, you don't even need to go online to get this thing to work, and you have a physical dial now at your nightstand, which is something a lot of people prefer, myself included. I hate opening the app in the middle of the night to change temperatures. I hate opening the app on one day where maybe I'm a little sick and I need it to be warmer or whatever. I don't like dealing with apps. I really, really don't. And maybe I'm old in that sense, but for my sleep, it's just nice to be able to walk up, turn the dial, lay in my bed. If it's too warm or too cold, I just turn the dial on my nightstand, and I love that. And I love this tubeless design. I love how comfortable this thing is. This is hands down the best cooling solution that we've tested out on the market. Now, 8 Sleep does have their new Pod Cover 5, I believe, and if they send us that, we'd love to put them head to head. Anyway, that pretty much does it for this review. If you have any questions, please go ahead, leave them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you or hopefully point you in the right direction. And if you want to see the most up-to-date pricing or if they're running a sale, we do have this product linked in the description below. So go ahead and check those out if you're interested in this product. Anyway, my name is Ethan, this is Sleepline, and we'll see you in the next video.